have some new additions to our Newman Center chapel artwork thanks to our own wonderful Tessa Wiens. She's graduating this year in May of 2019, but she started these wonderful banners of the 12 apostles of the church just about a year ago. And has now brought them to completion just in time for Easter and to get a vision of them here at the end of the semester. And so here with Tessa to tell us a little more about the beautiful art that you made, this gift of love for Jesus, gift of love for future Catholic Jackrabbits to look at. And I just would love to hear a little bit about it from you.
Yeah, so Father asked me to start painting these banners about a year ago. And we're kind of trying to brainstorm some things fitting for the Easter season. And we had kind of room for 6 banners, so it kind of just logically morphed into painting the 12 apostles.
Kind of fell right into place.
Yes. And I guess as far as like material, I used a lot of icon imagery to kind of figure out, just the different images for the apostles.
So with the different images you drew from icons then. If you're not familiar with icons is a specific style of holy art coming to us from Greek sources of Christian life, so Greek, Russian, Ukrainian, and in some ways they're somewhat two-dimensional, and so these pieces are a little flat in some way. They don't have a lot of depth to them, but that's part of the deliberate icon style, as well as some of the deliberate facial features that Tessa drew from in her own making of these. So Tessa, did you draw these out by hand on each banner and then paint them in?
It was kind of a mix and match thing. So I had a projector that I kind of used to project like different icon images in to make a template, but I did have to adjust some of the different drawings to incorporate different things. And then, ended up painting quite a few different layers after that.
Yeah. One thing that people don't maybe understand with art is that you have to go through thinking about how it looks up close, which is where the artist paints from, obviously, because your arms are only so long, but then how it's going to look about from far away, because again, these banners are up in our ceiling, and so you're going to see them from 20, 30, 40 feet away. And so something that the artist has to consider.
Yeah. So for a lot of it, I was painting on the basement floor of the missionary house. So I would like paint close up and then walk like halfway up their stairs and try to like get distance to see for the contrast.
That's a very creative way to kind of look at the problem in that regard. That's great. So with each of the 12 apostles, you obviously painted maybe different colors, different ages, kind of some of the traditional views of things, but also I noticed some things. The apostles are holding different things. Would you say a little bit about that?
Yeah, so some of the apostles are kind of known for different things, whether it's like their martyrdom or what their mission entailed. So each of them are kind of holding different things to represent that. So for example, like St. Peter's holding the keys for like obvious reasons, having the keys to the kingdom. But then kind of a lesser known one would be St. John, and he's holding a chalice with a snake. So the story behind that is towards the end of his life, there's people who are trying to poison him through giving him the poison chalice, and he actually blessed it, and then the poison left the chalice in the form of a snake.
Wow. You think you have it rough with your roommates, right? But some neat history and things that you yourself, as you look at these in the chapel, you could look those things up yourself, kind of doing your own research to learn about them, and in the process learn more about the history of your faith and some of the wonderful points about our faith. One thing you'll notice about these banners, of course, is that they're a realistic style of art, a representation in some ways of the persons of the apostles. Some trends in art move towards the abstract these days. Tessa, what would you say be significant about the idea of having a realistic representation of the apostles as opposed to maybe more an abstract representation of things, and maybe why you were drawn to that, whether as an artist or just as a Christian?
Yeah, so in general, I kind of like painting and drawing like more realistic things, just because they can kind of invoke some meaning in people, and like you're actually able to kind of recognize what is being portrayed. But specifically in painting the banners, it was interesting because it's not only trying to portray like my perception of how I'm trying to like see this thing, but I'm also trying to portray like Saint St. James, for example, and who he was, to help guide people's prayer and to help actually visualize like that the apostles were real people.
Yeah, and not just to visualize, they would just like spiritually encounter them through your art, to encounter the qualities of the person, the dignity of their persons, their virtues, their courage, in the face of martyrdom, like when they're kind of almost jauntily holding something that killed them. You talked about one of them. Who's there? One that holds a knife?
Yeah, St. Bartholomew is holding a knife because during his martyrdom he was skinned alive.
Right.
So.
And so there's almost a sense of humor to that, and displaying in that way the courage of the saints that we aspire to in our own lives, but to see it expressed in art as we seek that inspiration. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoy the fruit of Tessa's labor like I do, and we're so very grateful to you, Tessa, to give us these wonderful works of art, a labor of your hands and of your heart, and that they will be a source of inspiration and encouragement for year after year of Catholic jackrabbits to come through this Newman Center and pray in this chapel, even with all the noise of the university around them and car alarms and motorcycles and things that go by here in this chapel. They might encounter a little window into heaven through your artwork. So thank you.
Thank you for asking me to do.
Yeah. I'm Father Andrew Dickinson at the Pius XII Catholic Newman Center. God bless you. I love you. Have a great week.